What's up, friends? Today we're checking out the latest album by Fall Out Boy, So Much for Stardust. This is Fall Out Boy's first album in 5 years. It's crazy to think that Mania came out a whole 5 years ago. Wild. Wild, 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 wild. We'll be looking at this album from the perspective of a songwriter and producer. Let's get on it. Really long intro, but it was cool. I really liked the mix of orchestral strings and piano and how it turned into guitars and turned into rock. Thought that was really cool. Nice build in. I really like the vocal layering on this song. Just throughout, they have octaves going on. They just have a lot going on in terms of vocal layering. Hear a lot in like the second verse. The chorus is filled with it too. Sounds great. It's kind of a hallmark of them.
Hurricane heat in my head, the kind of pain you feel to get good in.
Really dug the ending of that song, like how they went from the really fast, like in time rhythms on the drums to that halftime feel at the end, which gave it a good like breakdown vibe. Really like the epic quality of the song due to the orchestral arrangement at the beginning. Bringing back that piano after the first chorus was really cool as well, because we built this big thing up and then we went back to what we'd been introduced to at the beginning of the song. I think it's really functional as an opening track for the album because it is high energy, because it is epic, it's big, it gets us prepared and it gets us excited. Love when a band takes that opportunity to really up the ante with their opening track on an album. Great chorus too. The lyrics are always phenomenal with Fall Out Boy's tracks. You know, sending my love from the other side of the apocalypse. That's just a dope lyric. That's one of those lyrics where you're like, oh man, how did I not write that? It's very Coheed too, you know? It feels like a big encompassing story. Yeah. Heartbreak Feels So Good is next up. I like the switch from pre-chorus to chorus in terms of guitar, going from that much chuggier guitar to a higher end rhythm thing. And then the post-chorus with the oh is super great. It's very EDM, you know, having a less verbal hook, like less word focused after a standard hook for the chorus. It's cool.
It was an uphill battle.
I do like how things drop off after that second post-chorus part. It's cool. I like the, filtered vocal on the left side. That panning is cool, and just the way everything kind of breaks down. It works really well. Really like the way that the guitar and the vocals play off of each other in that post-chorus. Reminds me a lot of what we've done in Jack Jack, both for this new album we're working on as well as for our debut EP, Gonna Make It, on Down From the Mountain. We had the primary lead guitar line, the bass line, and the vocal really play off of each other in an interesting way, and we're seeing that here too. Intelligent arrangement for that. One thing that kind of surprised me with this song is how similar the second verse, pre-chorus, chorus, post-chorus, like the second time through is to the first time through. They're almost identical. Like you take the drum patterns, you take the production elements with that synth bass that then leads into a chuggy guitar with piano, then leads into that higher guitar portion, and then that riff that pairs with the primary vocal. It's almost identical, which is a little surprising. I would have expected them to do something different at some point, but I think that the hooks and the melodies are so strong that it doesn't affect the quality, and it's still a really catchy song. Yeah, Patrick's vocals are sounding great. Pete's lyrics are phenomenal, and the whole band is just sounding pretty stellar. So far, this album has been a lot less electronic than their previous album, which is cool. I like seeing a more organic feel from them. Outside of that synth bass on this song, we really haven't heard too many synthetic instruments in their repertoire. So that's interesting. I'm fascinated by that. Hold Me Like a Grudge is next up. I love how rhythmic the lyrics are and how rhythmic the vocals are before we get to the chorus, and then the chorus they just blow up and get really big and more melodic. It's cool. So hold me like a grudge. Hold me like... That riff, that post-chorus riff is so sick. So much great instrumental hooks in this song. What a great piece of music right there. Oof, that song is so sick. I love how dancey it is, how fun it is, how great the riffs are. That bass riff that opens the song, the primary guitar riff, and that post-chorus. Just a lot of great stuff instrumentally. And the drums are so fun too. There's almost like this disco vibe at first. It's like this cool mix of disco and rock because it's just so dancey. It really draws from all of these different musical influences, but makes something that is so quintessentially just rock. You know, like you can't call this anything else but just good old-fashioned rock, even though it draws from so many different influences. I love the clapping during the pre-chorus. Love the deep vocal they use. They have that octaver on his vocal that comes in at certain points, kind of make the type of noises, and it works really well, actually. It provides this nice contrast and creates a good sound quality to that vocal, a real cool differentiation. Harley, who I work with in Jack Check, is also addicted to using that type of thing, and it's ever since we started using it, I just love hearing it in different projects. It feels like this shared secret of this vocal texture that just makes things sound really interesting when it's used correctly. Fake Out is next up. Remember us just like this forever, but this can't last, won't last, so make no plans. Those acoustic guitars plus that higher synth really create a much brighter feel for this song. Even though there's a little bit of chug in those electric guitars, it just still feels like this really happy, upbeat, cheerful thing, even though the lyrics aren't so much in that realm, but just the brightness of the instrumental quality just really stands out. Started off as shiny dimes, but we all got... What a great line. The lyrics are so cool. We all started out as shiny dimes, but got flipped too many times. What a fun song. There's some really subtle vinyl scratching there at the end that I was very entertained by. I thought that was a fun little addition. Yeah, I'm really liking the vibe of this album so far. That one gave me Yellow Card vibes a little bit, which isn't an insult. Yellow Card is great. Their one album that's really popular, that Ocean Avenue album, is just so good. So good. And this is great too. I'm really liking what I'm hearing so far. This is giving me kind of Infinity on High, or like, yeah, this is like the evolution of Infinity on High. It's its own thing for sure, but it's giving me similar vibes to that album of Fall Out Boys, and I'm just liking it. I'm liking a lot what they're doing here. First 4 tracks, solid. That one was fun, a little brighter, a little happier. It still has a little bit of that melancholy, especially with the lyrics being, kind of worn out from life. Relatable. Heaven, Iowa is next up. I feel like Patrick's vocals are the real selling point of this song. It's basically just this rock ballad using some similar drum patterns to what we'd hear from like Phil Collins, but his vocals just make it the song it is. That end of that bridge, that down, 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 was so like weird and unexpected. It just added a really cool flavor to the song in general. I don't know how many people are really paying attention to Fall Out Boy right now, but they're putting out good stuff right now. The song was no exception. Really cool. I like how it built into this big ruckus thing. A lot of little subtle call-outs to In the Air Tonight. That drum fill right before the electric guitars come in on that chorus, that bigger chorus, that second chorus, really reminded me of Phil Collins. That was so Phil Collins. That was so In the Air Tonight, which is fun. I mean, honestly, no one has like a copyright on a drum fill, and it is a really great drum fill, and they're drawing a lot of drum inspiration from, Face Value, which is a great album. So no knock for sure. Really strong rock ballad, cool, fun, interesting. So Good Right Now is next up. Love the surf rock influence on this song in terms of rhythm. Love how the drums seem to almost kind of drag a little bit. Feels so good. Real catchy all the way through. It's sick.
Feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now.
That chorus chord progression is so fun. It's such a mood. So Beach Boys.
From the start, I rip myself apart. I'll be whatever you need me to be. You need me to be a cut myself.
What just a great idea for a song. Hey, I've faced adversities. I've had some doom and gloom. Life hasn't been, all sunshine and rainbows, but for right now, feeling great. I'm overcoming that hardship, and I'm doing it. What a positive, entertaining message. Just so good right now. Yeah, loving the Beach Boys influence on it, from the car references to that chord progression in the chorus. And then I love the oh. Brilliant. Just a really cool song in general. I like the falsetto in the pre-chorus. It sounds really clean. And the drum patterns are really fun. I feel like a lengthy guitar solo is the only thing that song could really add it to kind of vibe up the fun a little bit more. But I don't know if that's like the most like punk roots thing to do, like most pop punk roots to do to have like a big old guitar solo. But it felt like those influences. But Fall Out Boy's making it their own thing, which is cool. The Pink Seashells featuring Ethan Hawke.
And he gives me this big pink seashell. And he says to me, son, the answers are all inside of...
Cool vibe. Like these little movie quotes in the middle of my albums, little offshoots. You're seeing it more and more. More and more albums, I feel like, are having these little moments near the middle where they have someone else come in and just talk for a second. I Am My Own Muse is next up.
Here I am, not sure you should take a chance.
That verse was really interesting. I like it a lot, and I like the opening of the song. I think it's very powerful, intense. The drum pattern is very reminiscent of Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria, and so I was almost expecting that type of just super catchy guitar riff, and I didn't get it, but it's still cool.
Again, I just try
Love the use of flutes on that bridge. Ooh, it's so cool. The instrumentation on this, the instrumentation arrangement is phenomenal, and definitely the drawing thing to it in general.
Switch over guitars till we see all the stars.
Yeah, this song felt to me like a mix of Live and Let Die by Paul McCartney and Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria. It just had that more epic quality you'd expect from Welcome Home, and it had a lot of the same sonic qualities as Live and Let Die, which is a great song, legendary song. Great arrangements, love their use of flutes, love their use of percussion on that last chorus, really cool. Just a lot of fun stuff going on in general throughout this song that really lifted up. I don't think the chorus is the strongest thing in the world. I would have preferred an instrumental hook to a vocal hook in the chorus, with the vocal playing more as like a counter melody to the instrumental hook. But that wouldn't be the Fall Out Boy thing to do necessarily. And so they have to be Fall Out Boy. You know, you have to give what people expect from Fall Out Boy. You can't be another band when you create a song, and they stay as themselves. They stay true to what they are in this song, which is super valuable for, you know, brand continuity. Flu Game is next up.
Please, would you chill me now? Late at night in my room, lie awake.
Love the tom use on that first verse. I love when toms are really getting at it in center stage in a song. So, dig that. The U, when it strips back a lot and it has those strings and those woodwinds, it's really good. I really like that. That's probably my favorite little portion, little sliver of the song. That ending was kind of surprising. I didn't expect the kind of just chill drum things right at the end there. Yeah, not my favorite song on the album so far. I just felt like the vocals didn't feel as driving and raw and sincere as they have throughout the rest of the album. The instrumentation was still cool. I liked a lot of the production beats we were getting, a lot of the production elements we were hearing. Yeah. I just and I do like the you. I think that's a really strong melody, and I think it functions well. I like the interplay of guitar and vocals on the song. Just not my favorite, you know, and you don't have to have every song be your favorite on an album. Maybe it's your favorite. If so, comment as to why I'm so wrong. Baby Annihilation, which is a phenomenal name for a song.
Permanent head cold dreams, awash in your love, falling in and out. Time is luck.
Yeah, cool song. Love the poetry. Very Pete Wentz, like the darkness involved in it. Of the two spoken word type tracks so far, I like this one more than the Pink Seashell. I feel like this one's more poetic, and it just fits Fall Out Boy a little more, in my opinion. I wouldn't mind hearing this in the middle of a concert. The Kintsugi Kid, 10 Years, is next up.
Low, 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 low. So roll the highlight.
I love how the lyrics mix with the music well, where when he's saying low, he's going to the lower register of his vocal, and then when he says high, he's on that higher side of his vocal. And it's the little things, you know?
Nothing, nothing. Na, 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 na.
I really like that synth that they're using for the nothing, nothing, na, 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 na. I just wish that the vocal blended with it a little bit better. I just don't know that the synth fits the vocal the best. Probably my favorite lead guitar parts on a song so far. I think they got a really good tone for the lead guitar as well. Again, not necessarily my favorite, but I do think there are some really good things going on with that song. So, you know, it still works. Still works. It's also a very bright song. Probably the brightest song on the album since Fake Out. And I find that interesting because it's this song about drug addiction, about, you know, living with those chemicals in your body more constantly. So it's fascinating how cheerful it is. I mean, there is some melancholy to it. I do really like the drums on it as well. I feel like they fit the vibe in a really clean way. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that one. What a time to be alive. That little pre-chorus / chorus thing, the everything is lit except my serotonin. So strong. What a great lyric, and the melodies in this song are so strong, so sick. I love how the horns play off of something that's so big and fun. It feels like a Daryl Hall, John Holtz type song. And just everything's so catchy in this song. The bass riffs, the horns, the vocals, it's all great. Love how the chorus blends into, like, that vocal just like turns into a lead guitar. They just perfectly blend those notes together and let that guitar solo for a little bit. Would have loved that guitar solo to be longer, but it's still cool. It's good to hear some sick little guitar solos coming out for us right there. And then I love how just savage and raspy and intense that vocal is right after it. It's just so rockin'. Because the song doesn't seem as rockin' throughout the rest of it. It seems more like this big old pop song. But right there, you're like, oh, no. This is a rock song. This is a rock hit. Like, slow up. I know it has those Baroque pop vibes, but we're coming back with a vengeance. I know it's Daryl Hall, John Oates type vibes, but it's still Fall Out Boy. And you listen to those lyrics, and they're still Fall Out Boy. It's the type of vibe that you would expect from them. They're keeping to themselves in this really honest way that you got to appreciate, you know? Staying on brand. Probably my favorite song on the album. Just a phenomenal piece of music. Crazy that it's so close to the end. I mean, I hope people pay attention to it because it's such a baller song. I hope they make a music video out of it. I hope that everyone can hear it. I'm just afraid people will miss this album. And it's a good album. I didn't think, you know, that Fall Out Boy would be killing it so hard this year. Who knew? I couldn't see it coming. So Much for Stardust is the last song on the album. Title track.
Down, burning myself down, burning. I feel like something.
I like the little interruption moments, like when they have that horn come in or when the drums are just going with the vocals for a second. It's really cool moments. That repeated melody is so flippin' sick. Thought we had it all, thought we had it all, thought we had it all. So good. It's so sick.
Sunshine of my lifetime, what would you trade the pain for? I'm not sure.
Great piece of music. Loved it. Great way to end the album. I would love to go to a concert where that was the last song of the album. You know, I don't know how Fall Out Boy concerts work because I've never been to one, but I love when an album reflects a concert so well. You know, with that first song being a big, raucous, like, let's go type song, and then the last song just feeling like such a closer song. It's so cool. So cool. Also, like the little connection to the first song. What would you trade the pain for? I'm not sure. Yeah, that I loved how they link together lyrically and musically, because you have those strings, you have those pianos coming in at those very similar moments, very similar piano riffs going on, and so it really feels like everything's kind of tied up in a nice, pretty bow as far as an album goes. Solid piece of music. Loving the influences on it while still staying true to their brand, because after all, they are Fallout Boy, and they aren't trying to be anything else. They're like, yeah, we're gonna do something more organic, and we're gonna draw on some disco influences, some dance influences, but we're still Fallout Boy. Like, don't get you wrong, like, even though we're drawing from Phil Collins and some disco and some all this other stuff, we are Fallout Boy. So don't mess, Hope you liked my thoughts on this album. If you did, I'd really appreciate if you like, commented, shared, subscribe. Also, check out my band's album, Gonna Make It. If you like this type of music, you're gonna love that as well. It's just a solid rockin' album just like this. Thanks so much. Catch you on the flip.
Go ahead, call me out, that's the way this goes. I am leaving tonight, I'll turn into a ghost. Let go of the